Good afternoon. We're going to be discussing today our second play from our author Sophocles. So today our project is to work on Antigone. Okay. I'm not going to go into a deep background like the one that we did with Oedipus the King because we already have the background. Reading Oedipus the King, that's your background. After Oedipus the King, you go as a sequence. Oedipus is going to go to Colonus. Now Oedipus is blind. He is put away from the city of Thebes, and now he has to start all over again. So Oedipus the King is going to end the play, and then we're going to have Oedipus blind. He's going to leave the country. The only one that is going to accompany Oedipus is going to be Antigone, his daughter. I'll specify. So that's the one that is going to be with Oedipus all the way to the moment Oedipus dies. Okay? That's the only one that is going to be with Oedipus along the way. So at the end of our play, Oedipus at Colonus, Oedipus is going to pass away. He's going to die. So when we start to play Antigone, you're not going to have Oedipus. Okay?
So he dies cuando antes de empezar la
before beginning Antigone. So Antigone is going to decide to return to Thebes in order to prevent the killing of the two brothers. Number one, Polynices, and number two, Antigone. Okay? Why they're fighting? When Oedipus dies, they're gonna agree to take turns on the crown. For example, 1 year you're gonna be the king, and the next year I'm gonna be the king, and so on and so on. However, there's one of them that does not want to give up the kingdom. So that's the reason they get to that fight between them two, and that's going to cause that they're both are going to kill each other. So they're both are going to end up dying. We have another of the sisters, and that name is which one? Ismene. Okay, so it's Antigone and Ismene are the two females. What did Oedipus say about the two females before? They were weak. Okay? And he said to Creon, take care of my daughters. However, you need to take care of my sons because they're strong. Okay? So when Antigone arrives to Thebes, they have already killed each other. So you're going to have both brothers dead. The only kids alive from Oedipus are Antigone and Ismene. That's it. Those are the only two alive at this moment. Okay. After Oedipus' banishment, as we know, Eteocles and Polynices will agree to take turns. However, Eteocles is the one that is not willing to give up the power as king. If you have an agreement and you don't continue with that agreement, that's gonna cause a lot of chaos here. Okay. So Polynices is gonna gather his army, and they're gonna bring it to fight against his brother in order to take the throne back. So both brothers, as we know, they're gonna end up killing each other. Now, we have both of the brothers are dead, and now Creon is going to be the new king of Thebes. Remember that I told you that at one part from the play of Oedipus the King, mark the one that it says, the crown of the Baden Lauren. Remember that? That is the reason. Ironically, Creon didn't want the throne, but he ended up with the throne. After there's no Oedipus, after there's no Eteocles, after there's no Polynices, Jocasta in this case will be the queen. So also Jocastus is dead. So basically all that line is dead. So now the one that has handed that throne is going to be Creon. Okay, this is a guy that is going to be with the power all along. Is as our play Oedipus the King is going to go to the culmination. You're going to see that Creon is going to what? Is going to start having a much more strong leadership as we end that play. I'm sorry. So as we said, remember the crown is very important. Antigone is going to be disturbed. She's going to have a situation. And that situation is that Creon is not going to give the proper burial to one of the brothers. Okay? So that's the problem that Antigone is facing right now. However, who's the one that does not want to give the proper, the crown, the throne? Antiochus. However, he is the one that is going to get the opportunity to be buried with a formal burial. Okay, so he's the one that is going to have a formal burial. However, Polynices is going to be leaving left right there without being buried. That's the concern that Antigone has. That's the problem that she's going to have. And all of this play is going to be around the desire of Antigone of giving her brother the proper burial. And that's going to cause Antigone lots of trouble, lots of problems. Yeah.
Why only one? Why not they both?
Because who's the one that is going to start the fight and gather the army? Polynices. So in the face of Creon, he's the problematic. He's the one that should not have the honor of the city. Okay, he's the one dishonoring the city for what he did.
And nobody was aware of the agreement that they both had about taking turns to the crown, right? It was just between them.
But it was personal.
It got personal to a point. Remember, when you want the power and you are both fighting for power, it doesn't matter that you are blood. That ambition is going to cause both of them to just kill each other. However, now Polynices is going to be punished. And in this case, his punishment is not having that proper burial. Okay? Very important. Oedipus the King, you're going to have your play. And you're going to have the opportunity to mark, as I gave you lines 100, lines 200, and blah, blah, blah. On this one, you're basically on your own. So I'm going to give you the summary of everything, and then you have to just, out of the summary, highlight and make your own annotations on Antigone. Very important. It is shorter than Oedipus the King. So Antigone is a strong woman. Even though Oedipus believed that they were weak, she was very strong. And you're going to see it all around the play. So her intentions are to define Creon. However, she's asking her sister to help her. Her sister Ismene. You're going to see an Ismene that is going to be with a lot of fear. She said, you know what? I'm not going to go against Creon. I'm not going to go against the king. These are the rules. We're going to follow the rules, and that's how we're going to roll. How do you think Antigone is feeling at this moment? What?
Disappointed.
Alone, disappointed. Probably she could be feeling betrayed by her sister. Why? Because you're not with me when I need you the most. You're not backing me up.
And besides, that's our brother, that's our family.
Exactly, that's family. So you're supposed to what? Just fight for what is correct. Plain simple. Pesos. Antigone says, you know what? I'm willing to do it alone. I don't have no problem. And Antigone is saying, I don't mind if I have to die to give my brother the proper burial. Okay? So she's willing to sacrifice herself.
She's strong.
She's strong, she's powerful. Of character. Big time. There's something very important this woman is gonna show totally, it's gonna be totally different from what women were during the 1600s. This play was written before the birth of Christ. At one point in our society, women were weak, brainless, useless, a waste of land, a waste of nothing. It's simple. My bad, the girls are here. I'm not attacking you. It was what happened during the 1600s. Women were not allowed to vote. They were not allowed to write. The only ones that you saw writing during the 1600s were men. That's it. Why? Because they thought that women were not capable of doing what men were doing. And there was a time in our history that the division was totally different. There was a time that our civilization was divided like this. And that pyramid is going to be the pyramid of value. The higher you are, the most value you have. The lower you are, the less value you have. Where are women? Right here. Below men. Why? Because they think that women were insignificant. They're just, the only thing they were separating at the moment were slaves. A lot of those civilizations thought that things were like that because they were supposed to be like that. It was just the way it is. Plain simple. The most powerful is God. Then it's going to be men, there's going to be women, and there's going to be slaves. As our community, our civilization is going to continue to go on and on and on and on, what's going to happen? When we hit the 1900s, you're going to see women with a lot of rights, the right to vote, the right to do a lot of things. Okay, so there was a lot of discrimination against females during the 1950s. You know, there was a lot of discrimination with the black people. During the 1800s, you know, there was a lot of discrimination with slaves. And it was until Abraham Lincoln and the Emancipation Proclamation that they were what? They were free. So it has, our society, our world, it has continued to be the same way. The ones that are powerful are just standing on top of the weak ones. And as females have continued to develop, right now you see females are basically toe-to-toe with men. Right now, 21st century. Look at that power. There was a time that when you build a community, you have the establishment of a community. You have the rise of that community. And if you don't protect that community, if you do stupid things, you're going to have to fall in the community. In the earlier times, a lot of people thought that if you let women control the show, that was going to lead up to the downfall of a society. It was just the way it is. And you're probably like, oh my God, because you're living in a different era right now. An era that is totally different. However, it is very curious that for the time that Sophocles wrote the play, he has a female with a powerful mindset. And that was the mindset that Antigone had. It is totally opposite to the mindset of Ismene. Ismene is what? Is what? It's coward. She's not going to stand up and fight for what is correct. However, you have an Antigone that is totally different. It's an Antigone that as we go on this play, a lot of the girls in this classroom are going to feel identified. I want to be like Antigone in some way, because she stood up and she did a lot of things that she thought that were correct. Okay? even though she went against all the odds. Okay? So let's continue.
¿Qué hace? Creon.
Esmene right now is scared. She's warning Antigone about going against Creon and fighting. And what did she says? It's a lost battle. That's the problem that a lot of people have. They lose the battle before they go into the battlefield. That's the problem. It's like you guys, sometimes you're going to take a test and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to fail the test. You're losing the battle before you're taking the test in your hands. And that starts to work in your mind, in your brain. And what happens, you're in a certain disadvantage. Why? Because this is too powerful. Plain simple. Creon is going to arrive. Remember that these people are going to talk, and they talk in front of everyone. Right there, you can see everything that is happening. Okay? Right now, he's going to be explaining Eteocles is an honorable man. The one that is dishonoring this city is who? Polynices. So, that's the reason that he's going to get the proper burial, and Polynices is going to just be left out there with the birds so they can eat them.
So the one that attacked this was Polynices.
Okay, didn't he basically attacked thieves. Like, they attacked each other. Like, Eteocles had his people, Polynices had his people. Polynices was the one that wanted to take, it was his turn to take the throne. So it's like, you're the king, and I'm the king. You're going to do it this year, I'm going to do it 2016. We get to 2016, it's my turn to be the king. And he says like, heck no, I'm not leaving the throne. So I'm going to gather my people, you have your people, I gather my people, and we go into battle. And we kill each other. That's the way it is.
Pero él lo quiere hacer pues a la fuerza.
Exactly. Why? Because his brother did not want to what? Just give the throne. You need to give it. That was the agreement that we had.
Que cuando Augusto se fue, que se quedó con el trono fue
The brothers, both brothers.
los dos.
Yes. They were going to share the throne. Okay, Oedipus is gone. The boys are going to take the throne. The boys are dead. Creon takes the throne. Okay. A sentry is like a messenger. He's going to come, he's going to arrive, and he's going to tell Creon, he's going to give messages to Creon, and he's going to warn Creon about it. It's like, you know what? I don't think that's something that we should do, because this could get ugly at some point. Remember, as we go on both plays, you have people that are trying to what? To give warnings. And what do those kings are doing? Not listening to those warnings.
Es como advisor.
What? Not advisor. It's going to be a messenger that is, if remember, if they see something, they're going to come and they're going to let them know. Okay? Very important. This guy is going to let Creon know about everything that is happening in the city. So, if something happens with any of the bodies, he's the one that's going to be in charge of informing Creon about it. Okay? Now the chorus is going to get involved. And they're going to talk about, they're going to express that probably what's happening is just the will of the gods. These people are what? Very good believers. And they're going to believe that everything is happening is just because the gods are saying, you know what? It's just the way it is. We have to do it this way. Creon is going to say, you know what? Screw the gods. Those are my rules. He's not going to get the burial. Plain simple. He dishonors the city. He breaks the laws. He is screwed. Plain simple. However, there's a lot of rumors that apparently they're trying to prepare the body of Polynices to be properly buried. And what is Creon going to do? He's going to search and he's going to send people to check what happened to that body and who's the one behind all of this. Already we know who do you think is behind all of it? Antigone. She's the one looking for that burial. The century's gonna come back with Antigone, and he's gonna explain she's the one that I discovered doing everything. So right now we're gonna see Antigone that's gonna start getting into trouble. Okay. Antigone is not gonna deny it. If you're not doing something wrong, you're not gonna deny it. If you're doing something wrong, then you're gonna deny it because you're gonna know what? You're gonna get into trouble. She said, you know what? I did it. So what? If you're going to do something, do it. I don't regret. Remember, morally, if you were in the same spot, what would you do? Do the same. Because morally speaking, it's good that your brother is dead. You bury him. However, you're not just going to leave the other one right there in the mercy of the birds to eat them right there. It's not fair. Okay? Very important. The chorus is going to start accusing Antigone of creating trouble just like her father. Remember, who's the one that leaves with Oedipus? Antigone. In one part, Antigone has a lot of the characteristics of Oedipus. A lot. In a lot of those characteristics, the three that I told you, she has the beating,
Logos and ethos.
she got logos, and she has ethos. Even though she's not a leader. Even though she's not the leader. Because the one that we know is a leader is Creon. However, she possesses those same qualities from her father.
Nosotros durante ese tiempo, Oedipo todavía está en exile.
Oedipus is dead, bro.
Hace rato se murió, pero después que ella volvió.
Oedipus is dead. Oedipus is gone. Now Creon is going to be pissed off. And he's going to say, you know what? I'm going to have to execute you. However, he's right now saying, you know what? And your sister is plotting with you also to be with this. What happened with Ismene? She declined. She said, no, I'm not going to do it. However, Creon is what? Thinking that she's also part of the plot. So, all of the things that Antigone is going to start to do are going to put Creon in a tough position. And that tough position is, am I doing the things correctly? Should I continue to think and do what I'm doing right now? Or should I give this boy the proper burial that he deserves? So right now he's being in that difficult spot. Why? Because of the actions of Antigone. So Ismene is going to enter the stage. And she's going to say, you know what? I helped my sister burying our brother. Do you think that's true or not? Why not? Because she declined. She said no. However, what do you think Ismene is doing this for? Protecting her sister. It's like, if you're going to die, well, screw it. Our mother is dead. Our father is dead. Brothers are dead. They're going to kill my sister. You know what? Heck, I'll die too. Then you're going to have Antigone and Ismene have a conflict. Antigone is going to ask Ismail, he's going to tell you know what? Stay away from it. You did not help me. You did not agree. And now you want to just be with me in this problem. You know what? Stay away. Stay away. However, at some point in this play, it is revealed that Antigone is planning to marry Creon's son.
More incest?
The name of the son of Creon is Haman. Haman. So, not Ham. Not Ham. Haman.
Come on.
Not Ham.
Hey,
Haman. Okay? So there's Haman. He's gonna arrive. And this guy's gonna say, Father, I'm gonna obey anything that you say. I'm gonna do whatever you want me to do. Look at this coward guy right now. So apparently the love that he had for Antigone was just useless. So now they're gonna get in a debate, father and son. And Creon is gonna lecture his son about law and obedience. You guys have a very difficult task at home. Every single time that you guys do something that is wrong, what's gonna happen when you arrive home?
You get lectured.
You get lectured. You cannot do this because this and this and that, and they're gonna give you a lecture.
Repeat this to you.
It's just the way it is. Parents are this way, plain simple. And they're gonna continue to do it. So if you continue to do things incorrectly, they're gonna continue to lecture you. Okay? Creon is very emotional by saying to his son, you should not be dominated or controlled or persuaded by a female. Why? Because he's thinking right there, this guy fell in love, this guy's gonna do stupid things, and I cannot allow that. Yes, he did. But, very good point, Stephanie. Oedipus asked him to take care. However, Creon is going to stay firm. Even though I have to take care of you, if you didn't do things correctly, you'll die. Because you have to follow the rules. Exactly. Those are the rules. That's the way it is. For example, if you stole something, and you have to go to jail, and your mother and your father say, you know what? That's your problem because you did things incorrectly. Go to jail and pay. Same thing that he's doing. She did something wrong, she needs to pay. Creon is gonna fire back. I'm not questioning your wisdom. However, he's saying, you don't see that our city is living in fear because of your wrath. And wrath, defining it aside, wrath is vicious hate. When you hate someone and you're full of hate, that's wrath. So this guy is ruling totally different from the way that Oedipus did it. This guy's gonna rule with fear, imposing the fear to the rest of the people. Do you think that's a good way to lead? No, it's not. The argument and the fight is going to escalate. And Haman is going to tell his father, you're insane, you're crazy, dude. And his father is going to say, well, you're a woman's slave. You're going to do whatever a woman says. So that relationship between father and son is not looking very good right now. Right now, they're in a difficult situation. You have a father that is trying to impose his will, what he thinks is correct, and you have a son that is starting to defy the father. It's like you guys do sometimes. Sometimes you don't like something and you start smashing the doors and throwing everything in your room and saying it's not fair because this and this and this. It's just happened. It's just part of life. Okay? So those conflicts between father and son, mother and daughter are going to happen at some point. Haman is going to just go away. However, the thing that is worrying, the thing that has him worried right now is what? Antigone. What are we going to do with Antigone? So forget about Haman right now. I can deal with that later. What we're going to do with Antigone. The chorus now is going to try to persuade Creon to save Antigone, to protect Antigone. Also, to protect Ismene. And just to do the things correctly, we don't have to go to doing bad things right now. Now Creon is going to give an order. And now we're getting closer to our tragedy. Creon is going to order to lock Antigone inside a cave. They're going to put her inside the cave and they're going to put a rock to block the cave. So she's going to be locked inside a cave. However, Tiresias makes his comeback. So we have Tiresias dead. He's alive, he's alive. The blind prophet. Yeah. So Tiresias is alive. The blind prophet. They're humans. Right, so? Tiresias, hey, what did he do in Oedipus a cave? He tried to warn who? Oedipus. Now he's looking to warn Creon. Do not kill Antigone. Give her brother the proper burial and things are not going to get worse. However, if he doesn't do the same thing as Oedipus, if he listens to Tiresias, then we're not going to have a tragedy. However, it's not going to happen. So, he's going to say, you know what, Tiresias? Screw you. You're an old man. You're crazy. I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. It's correct. Tiresias says, God, no one seems to listen to a good advice. No one. Not able to do it. Tiresias is going to say, you don't want to protect Antigone. You don't want to give Polonius a proper burial. You're going to pay for this in the long run. So we have a Creon that is struggling with the choices. Big time, yes. What's that? Remember, he started a fight to gain his throne. No, they can exact both. because hey, it's my turn. So I won. It's my turn. So you're gonna have a peon that is gonna be struggling with decisions. However, Leon is going to decide to bury Polynices. He's going to say, you know what? I'll do it. I'll bury him. I'm going to bury Polynices first, and then I'm going to release Antigone. So you know what? I'll bury the guy. I'll release Antigone. My son can be with Antigone, and then everybody's happy. That's it. So the messenger is going to kill, and Apia is going to say, sir, we have taken care, we already buried Polynices. That's done. Now what you have to do, go and take out Antigone. So, they're going to go to the cave. When they enter, they're going to listen to a voice inside screaming in anguish. What do you think is that? Antigone. However, they're going to see that the rock that it was protecting, that it was holding right there, was moved. Apparently what happened? Someone got inside the cave. Someone got inside the cave. When they enter, they discover that Antigone's hanged. So Antigone has hanged herself. Dead. Dead Antigone. As Antigone is breathing her last breath, Haman showed up. So the one that opens, moves the rock to go in, is Haman. Right there, Haman is trying to help Antigone. And it's like when you're hanging, Haman is trying to what? Help her out. Okay. By the way, do you guys know that you guys can hang, like, people could hang themselves from here?
Yeah.
No, you can't sit. Like, your body has to be a bit lifted from above the ground. But from there, people could do it. And people do, like in jails, they do it. For example, from the bars, if they don't reach, they'll do it from a lower part. It could happen. It could happen. So Brian is going to enter and he's going to tell Haman, get away from Antigone.
Wait, Haman was helping Antigone.
Trying to help. Trying.
Okay, for like to kill herself or trying to prevent it?
To prevent it. Prevent it. So Haman is so pissed off that he's going to take out his sword and he's going to go on top of his father. However, he says, if I try to go against you, you're too powerful and he's strong. So I'm not going to go against you. So in some way he respects his father. And he knows, hey, my father's a better fighter.
What?
Haman is gonna grab his sword just like Romeo. Right there.
Y se muere también. Una tragedia.
So we have Antigone dead, and we have Haman.
Why?
So if you go to Romeo and Juliet was way after it. So there's a lot of things that Shakespeare takes out of the Greek authors, out of Sophocles. Because in Romeo and Juliet, remember, who's the one that stabbed herself? Juliet was right there, supposedly dead for 48 hours. Romeo drinks the poison. When he dies, she wakes up. Right there, he's basically dying. And then she grabs the sword and she stabs herself. That's the tragedy of Romeo and Juliet. That's how it ends. Because loved ones are dying, they continue to kill themselves. It's a tragedy. It's not calm, it's tragic.
I figured that.
So, the messenger is gonna be telling the mother, Eurydice, is gonna come and it's gonna be right with my son. My son. So now the mother is gonna go off stage and she's gonna kill herself also.
Gracias, ¿qué estoy hablando?
Oh my god.
Aparece y está muerta ya.
Okay, lo que quiere I feel like apparently it's the original.
Antigone, no explain. Antigone is dead. Okay. Haman is dead. And now the mother of Haman is also dead. Wow.
Maestro, no hizo como muere.
Now, the most tragic scene is basically at the very end when Creon is right there with the body of the dead son. And he's right there. I am a ruined man. I'm just totally destroyed. I lost my wife. I lost my son. And I'm just demoralized. Hey, backfire. You don't listen to Tiresias, you're gonna end up screwed. But he did it late. But he did it late.
By the way,
So at the end, you're gonna think that Creon is gonna commit suicide, but he doesn't. He said, no, I don't wanna die. So he's gonna end up just as a ruined man. Miserable man.
I guess that's the worst thing.
And basically, that's Antigone. So basically, that will be it for a second play. She's alive? She's alive? She didn't know?